Hi, I'm Robin Kozlowitz, YouTube's post-traumatic parenting expert. Today, we're going to talk about acceptance in PTSD and CPTSD and how that impacts our parenting. So a lot of people misunderstand the concept of acceptance in PTSD recovery. Acceptance was really popularized by two approaches: acceptance and commitment therapy and DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. What acceptance is at its core is a very neuroscientifically informed approach that says this: our brain, particularly the amygdala, the part of our brain that gets activated in times of trauma, does not tell time very well. So our brain engages in something called counterfactual thinking, which means our brain tries to rehearse and undo the things that we are remembering, those trauma memories. So it's very common after a car accident for our brain to go over the accident, go over and revisit and revisit and revisit and keep reviewing that accident. What our brain is trying to do, what the amygdala is mostly trying to do, is to undo the accident. The accident was horrible, it was terrible, it was traumatic. We don't want it to have happened. So the amygdala thinks if it just sort of can go over it, it can stop it from happening, because the amygdala does not know that it already happened and that we don't actually have a time machine yet, right? The Marvel multiverse doesn't exist yet. We can't go back in the time stream and alter it. So the amygdala is trying to get our attention to warn us if the car accident's going to happen, except it already happened. So the acceptance skill is about truly accepting those awful things that happened, because we can't engage in counterfactual thinking because they won't unhappen, right? So our brain trying to resist what happened, our brain trying to replay the video of what happened, our brain trying to help us because this time maybe that video will play out differently, isn't helpful at all, right? And when it comes to uncomfortable feelings, what the acceptance skill allows us to do is accept that discomfort happens. It's part of the human condition. It's normal, and we have to accept it. Like, there will be discomfort and it will be okay. We can tolerate discomfort. So a lot of time our brain tries to distract us from discomfort, either by, that video starts replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying. And then we start to distract ourselves from the discomfort that video playing and replaying and replaying happens. So maybe we're going to play an online game. Maybe we're going to watch something funny. Maybe we're going to go shopping. Maybe we're going to, maybe we're going to drink too much. We're going to escape. We're going to dissociate in some way, because the discomfort becomes the emergency and the trigger feels like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. The first thing we have to do is acknowledge the counterfactual thinking. The counterfactual thinking that tells us this didn't happen, this couldn't have happened, I need to rethink it and make it not have happened. It happened. Accept that it happened. This traumatic event happened. It wasn't okay. It shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. We can't undo it by keep thinking about it. So thank you, brain, for trying to undo this. And I am not going to be able to, because it already happened. So thank you for sending me these videos trying to undo this reality and trying to manage this reality. I appreciate what you're trying to do. That's not helpful right now. So I'm going to move on with other things. I'm not going to ask you to stop, because I'm accepting these thoughts are going to come. I'm just not going to focus my attention on that video, nor am I going to focus my attention on trying to manage the discomfort that video playing in my brain and playing in my brain and playing in my brain engenders. So I'm not going to distract myself. I'm going to feel the discomfort. My heart's going to pound a little. My stomach's going to hurt. My throat's going to feel tight. I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to feel all sorts of emotions, and uncomfortable ones, and they're uncomfortable, and that's okay. I'm going to continue engaging in valued action. I'm going to continue living my meaningful life. I'm going to continue living my life that's worth living. And you can keep playing the video in the back of my brain, but I'm going to focus my attention elsewhere. If you think about it, focusing our attention on trying to manage the discomfort by distracting ourselves is also focusing our attention back on that video, right? Because it's like, I must do whatever I can to drown out the video. If I sit here and I'm trying to drown out my triggers and I'm going la 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 la, and I'm not paying attention to it, I'm paying a lot of attention to not paying attention to it, right? Paying a lot of attention to not paying attention to it is also paying attention to it. Instead, what I want to do is say, yeah, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. I'm a little anxious right now. My heart's beating a little fast. Thank you, adrenaline. You are coming to try to help me. Yeah, my brain's going to be playing that video and I don't like how that feels. Yeah, my stomach's going to hurt a little. Yeah, my throat's going to hurt a little. That's okay. I'm going to continue moving on with my life and living my life worth living. And I'm going to do that despite this video playing in the back of your head. And the interesting thing that happens with acceptance is that as we do that, the video actually does sort of start to desaturate and lose color and lose sharpness and lose focus, not because we're trying to get rid of it. Paradoxically, we're welcoming it in. We're saying, come on in. It's kind of like, when you have siblings and, maybe you have like a daughter with some friends over and her annoying little brother is trying to come into the room where they are and trying to like get into the room and annoy them. If you're standing there like holding the door shut, not letting him in, he's going to keep trying to come in because like he wants to come in. If you're kind of like, yeah, whatever, come in and listen to us talk, it's okay. He's going to come in, he's going to like maybe like, I don't know, grab some popcorn. He's going to see that like this conversation is not that interesting. It's not on his developmental level. Eventually he's going to kind of wander out. Right? The more you resist something, the stronger it becomes. So by allowing that video to play in our head, right? And it plays and it plays and it plays, paradoxically, it loses its power. By allowing ourselves to feel discomfort, embracing the discomfort, paradoxically, we become more comfortable. Not because we're trying to dismiss or get rid of those sensations, right? But simply because in welcoming them and saying, oh, the video, that's my brain engaging in counterfactual thinking. It really wants this not to have happened, right? When we have those uncomfortable sensations, that's my body trying to get my attention towards that video that my brain is playing for me. I get it. Yeah, thanks, adrenaline and cortisol. You're here to help me manage stress. That's okay. There's nothing stressful actually going on now, but thanks for the information. Paradoxically, that is how those sensations pass. Now, when we have complex PTSD, right? And when what happens is we feel triggered by our children. We feel triggered. We see videos of times in our life that we acted in ways that were inconsistent with our values, and we worry that we will then damage our children. The approach and the answer is the same thing. Thanks for the information. Thanks for reminding me that I value my relationship with my children and I want to be the best mother I possibly can be for them. Thanks for all this adrenaline you're giving me right now, making me anxious about my ability to parent and my ability to be the kind of parent I value being for my kids. I appreciate the information. And you can go now. Thanks. You can hang out if you want, but like, I'm not going to be paying so much attention to you. Instead, I'm going to pay attention to the child in front of me, to attunement, to thinking about their child development, how their brain is working right now. I'm going to be paying attention to the task of child development that they're engaging in. A 3-year-old, what's he trying to figure out about the world? A 5-year-old, what's she trying to figure out about the world? A 7-year-old, a 16-year-old. I'm going to try to attune to that. What is the developmental task this child is trying to accomplish? I am going to focus on attunement. Let me see if I can understand this child's neurobiological state, their emotions. Can I see what's going on for them inside their body? Can I see what's going on for them socially, emotionally? Can I get into the mindset of this child? And yeah, that video is going to play in the background. Sure, my brain is going to keep warning me that my damage could potentially damage my children. And that's okay. You can keep warning me of that. I'm going to continue attending to the child in front of me. And I know those uncomfortable sensations will pass as my adrenaline and cortisol see that I'm welcoming in and not resisting them. Paradoxically, they start to go down. If I just notice those sensations and I simply say, oh, hi, adrenaline, you're here to give me strength to handle a challenge. The challenge is mental, though. Adrenaline doesn't always help that much with it, but thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And I'm going to move on. If I'm willing to feel that discomfort, right? And I'm not going to either focus on the video of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to damage this kid. And I'm not either going to focus all of my attention on distracting myself from that video, instead being present with the child, building that life worth living with the child in front of me, then paradoxically, those signals become weaker. And this is that complicated situation where PTSD and CPTSD really impact our ability to parent unless and until we are conscious of it and we understand what PTSD is trying to do, what CPTSD is trying to do, what it's trying to protect us from. Embrace it, acknowledge it, acceptance. That's the acceptance skill. Accept the discomfort, accept those videos playing in the back of our heads, listen to them, pay attention to them, but then say, okay, I'm going to now direct my attention elsewhere and be okay with that. That is true acceptance, and that is how we recover from PTSD and CPTSD while parenting. If you like this video, please check out the post-traumatic parenting community on Instagram. You can find us at Dr. Consulate Psychology. And of course, if you like this content, you want to hear more of it, please click the subscribe button below. We will be putting out many more videos, and check out the Post-Traumatic Parenting podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.